Happy birthday, Virgo. Welcome. Why don't you sit a spell so we can talk about the stars? And let me fix my earphone. Okay, so how's life? I hope that you're well. And eclipse season is ending. Let's go ahead and talk about it some. On September 16th, we will be experiencing a full moon prenumbral lunar eclipse at 24 degrees of Pisces. This is occurring in your 7th house, Virgo. The 7th house is ruled by Hello, Mercury retrograde. The 7th house is ruled by Libra. That speaks to your partnerships. Partnerships can be your business or your intimate partnerships. It can also be familial partnerships. Anybody that you deal with on a regular basis, where you have to work in tandem with them, it's a partnership. It's also how you identify with others through those partnerships. It's counseling and open enemies. Open enemies is testifying in open court against someone, or I see it as arguing with someone in an online forum where other people can see it. This full moon prenumbral lunar eclipse is going to be in conjunct Venus, the planet of love, harmony, and beauty, in Libra, which means balance is going to be required in your 2nd house. And Jupiter just moved into the 2nd house. So this could be bringing an expansion of this in conjunction right now where balance is needed. The 2nd house is ruled by Taurus. It's the house of your values. It's the house of your money, possessions, your earning ability, your self-esteem. Mine. It's the house of mine. My things. Not mine, yours. You get it. And this full moon prenumbral lunar eclipse is also going to be squaring Mars, the planet of energy, impulse, and aggression in Sagittarius in your 4th house, which means tension is going to be present. And that tension is going to be arising in the Cancer-ruled house of the 4th house. That is your home and family. Home is where you live or where you consider home to be. Family is your immediate family, including your parents, mother and father, or people you consider to be parents, or your roommates if you aren't married. Fur babies also apply. It also speaks to your spouse or your partner and your children as well. So if it doesn't resonate on any of those levels, also look or think about your roots or your foundation, because it's going to be apparent in one of those areas of life. Now, you've had some eclipses. We all have. On the 18th of August, we had a 25 degrees of Aquarius full moon prenumbral lunar eclipse in your 6th house. And that's the house that's ruled by you, Virgo. That is a house of work and health and the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. This was a lunar eclipse, so this could bring endings. And it may not be foreseen. You may just be understanding or starting to see what this is about. If it's not in your work, then it would be in your health. Possibly the ending of a situation, a health situation. That's a nice thing. On the 1st of September, we had a 9-degree Virgo new moon solar eclipse. This occurred in your 1st house, Virgo. This means a lot of change has been probably rushing through you quite quickly, and that's wonderful. I mean, especially with it being your birthday, right? It's always a good time for change. The 1st house is ruled by Aries. It is the house of your personality, your physical body, your appearance, and your physical environment. This was T-squared between your 4th and your 7th house. The 4th house is the Cancer-ruled house of home and family, like I just spoke about at length, and also in your 7th house, which is ruled by Libra, and that is where this full moon's happening on Friday. So that's the house of your open enemies. That's the house of counseling. That's the house of identifying with others through your partnerships, friendships, familial partnerships, work partnerships, business partnerships, acquaintances. But we're going to be having a new moon in Libra in your 2nd house on the 30th of the month, and I'll be around to draw some cards for you for then. But for now, I'm going to transition over to the tarot portion and pull some oracle cards for you as well. I'm actually going to pull several oracle cards for you from 4 different decks. I'll show you the boxes on the flip side. But for now, just hang tight, y'all, and I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll be right back. Hey Virgo, I'm back. I've been shuffling and meditating over the cards off camera asking for the general messages for my Virgo friends. Before I get started pulling the cards and doing my on-screen shuffle, let me show you the boxes of the oracle cards I will be pulling from. You're going to get 2 butterfly oracle cards for life changes from Doreen Virtue. Also going to pull from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. The artwork is by Autumn Sky Morrison, and it is a real fan favorite of many people who watch this channel. So happy I could share it with you. Another card deck is brand new to me. This is something that my fiance got for me to celebrate my 1,000 subscribers mark. And I'm seriously looking down the just not far from 2,000. I'm so overwhelmed and so full of gratitude. But thank you, Jeremy. I love you so much, babe. This oracle card deck is by Autumn Sky Morrison. The artwork is by Razuli, and there are 70 cards in this deck, and each of those cards have a poem that corresponds with each card. The poetry is written by Richard Cohen, and I plan on sharing all of the information from the guidebook in accordance to whatever card falls for you, because it's a new deck for me, and once I become more familiar with it, I won't rely on it as much, but I want to give you as much information as I can and empower you. So once again, for my Virgo friends for the September full moon. While I was off camera shuffling, the cards were just flying out of my hands. It could be that I'm just kind of groggy-headed from all of the medicine I've been taking. Part of it could be that I'm just flat out sheer clumsy. There is one card that kind of repeatedly made itself known. Actually, 2. If they show up in the reading, I will make them known. And if I feel led, I may pull them from the deck. I will follow that when we get there. Right now, I'm still just trying to get the cards to show up for you. All right. I'm going to pull. Or going to actually cut and then pull for my Virgo friends for the September full moon. I've always wanted to say new moon. I don't know why. There's been 2 new moons, or there will be 2 new moons in this month. So, bottom card for the underlying theme or the overarching energy, and the top 3 for some clarity. Put that aside. Another oracle deck that I'm pulling from is a deck that I got from a secondhand store, so I don't know who the actual authors are of this deck, but I appreciate and send gratitude out for their energy and the messages that we receive from them. Because I've had people ask about this deck, and I've got this deck, and I found a rune, like for the Nordic runes for divination, or Germanic runes. It's cards much like this that have the runes on them, because I like learning about stuff like this. So I've been playing with them in my private time, and when I feel like I have a better grasp of them, I will share them with y'all. Maybe the same company that did them, but I just don't know. I can't give credit, but I'm sending gratitude. Let me cut for my Virgos. And once again, happy birthday to the late Virgo babies. I'm going to take the top card. Butterfly Oracle deck for life changes by Doreen Virtue. For my Virgo friends. This one? Okay. Normally I would cut, but the top card kind of, I'm sorry if that made a loud noise, but it came towards me, towards my heart. And pause. Is this the one that needs to come? I got my confirmation. The bottom card too, but yeah. Normally I cut if they don't just pop out. Unless I'm drawn to, otherwise like with that. From the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. this one. And from the Journey of Love Oracle card deck. And these Oracle cards are made by the same company that made the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. So the card stock is sturdy and it is well laminated and will probably survive many, 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 many readings with my heavy hands. All right. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and pause. I'm going to flip these cards over and get my workspace together and try to get my stuff together for y'all. Find the page in the book for that as well. So I'll be right back. Thank y'all so much. Hang tight. Hey Virgo, I'm back with your reading. So, the underlying theme or the overarching energy card that you got was the Queen of Wands in reverse. The Queen of Wands is feminine fire sign energy. It doesn't have to be a female. It can be a male, but it is strong feminine energy nonetheless. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It can be their sun, moon, or rising. You will not know that unless you know their chart or they have shared that information with you. This queen is, she's coming from a subjective perspective, probably from an unbalanced perspective as well. She maybe doesn't understand the entirety of the situation. She's impetuous. She can be egocentric and very self-confident. She's not afraid to talk philosophy, but the fact that she's in reverse, it could be that she's being dogmatic. If she was in the upright, I would say she was being open-minded, but in the reverse, I don't see it as such. I see it as more closed-minded, probably not as friendly. When I see her in the reverse, I think kind of, and this is the Virgo reading, I'm sorry, but whenever I see the Queen of Wands in reverse, I think bitchy vibe. You know what I mean? I literally hear the Wizard of Oz music for the Wicked Witch of the West. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's what I hear when I see this card in reverse. Welcome to the craziness of the circus of my brain. But yeah, she's, I'll get you my pretty and your little dog too. Not happy about it. Coming from a pissed off perspective. She also could be coming from a passionate perspective. Passion is a sliding scale. She is the only queen that has her knees apart. In the older translations, that meant she was a promiscuous queen, but I see it as eager and ready to act. I think that's a little bit more subjective for whoever wants to see it as such. Not calling our queen promiscuous, calling her eager and ready to act instead. But she's acting from a lower vibration. She's acting from not her best side. Now, I don't know if this is you or if this is someone coming at you. It depends. The first card in the top three for clarity that you got is the Fool in reverse. And whenever I see the Fool in reverse, or whenever I see the Fool period, I think of new moons because it's zero, the seed, the beginning. The Fool is actually the first card in the tarot deck, but it's listed as the zero. I've also been seeing this as eclipse cards during the eclipse readings because of the symbology of sun, moon alignments, that sort of thing. The last eclipse we had was a new moon solar eclipse in your sign, and this definitely speaks to that for me. This could be speaking about that eclipse and how it is bleeding over into this energy. It really depends. I am also going to have the September monthly astrology tarot card forecast video that I released at the very beginning of the month for September, but it included the new moon stuff. I'm going to have a link for that down in the description below. It may mean something to you to go back and watch it. I will have it, that other video will be timestamped to where you can go watch the full moon portion and forward. It'll have more information about the second half of September. This is specifically for the full moon eclipse. The Fool as a major arcana card, like I said, is the first, but it's listed as a 0. I see it as the new moon. I've also seen it as eclipses. This could be speaking to the new moon solar eclipse that just occurred on the 1st, because that was in Virgo, and that is, you know, that's you. But the Fool as a tarot card represents the planet Uranus. The planet Uranus is the planet of change, liberation, rebellion. It's the planet of shocks and surprises, and it also governs over electricity and electrical things. Uranus is also known as the Great Awakener. In the upright, it's looked at as being innocent and having trust, but in the reverse, I see it as being naive or having a level of naivety that you didn't fully plan or foresee what could happen. It's weird because this is really speaking very strongly to something that occurred to me about 2 weeks before my house fire back in October. I had a epiphany, is what I was calling it. I know now what it was, but at the time I referred to it as an epiphany because that's all I knew to call it as. But about 2 weeks before I lost everything in a house fire, I had this thought after hearing on the radio a commercial, I think it was for Geico or something, but talking about renter's insurance, and I didn't have renter's insurance. I need to get that. I need to check into that. And I never did. That was me. This was Erica right before the fire, the Fool in reverse. Oh, it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. It's no big deal. The universe will provide and take care of me. Don't bet on it, sweet pea. That's not to say that the universe doesn't love you, that there isn't a divine plan, and that this hasn't been created or chosen. All of those things are true. But shit happens, boo-boo. And this is a heads up, hopefully, for you to be mindful. Don't be naive. Plan for the future. I use the analogy of life being like a mountain and people having their own paths to find to the top. You've probably heard me make that reference before. And I say some people use a map, some people don't. This is a person who doesn't use the map and doesn't follow the path because they know they're just going to find the way. They're going to be led that way. And that's not to say some people can't and don't have that ability, but not everybody does. And it's always nice to have a plan B and a plan C. Because, I mean, okay. I'm not trying to turn this into me, but I'm giving you examples. House fire. Didn't do the renter's insurance. Okay, that screwed me royally. But when the fire trucks got here, I live just on the other side of this wall is water from Lake Bistineau, okay? And fire trucks rolled up here at 1 o'clock in the morning and didn't have no damn water in their fire trucks. How you gonna fight a fire with no water in your truck? Okay, you think there's water in the lake, right? No. It was a lake drawdown because of this thing called Salvinia. So I was screaming at them to do something. There was nothing they could do. It was the Fool in reverse. That landed on me that morning. That landed on me. Plan, prepare, have the plan. Practice it, know it. So when you need it, it's second nature. I'm sorry I went off on a tangent there, but it was inspired for some reason. The second card that you got is the Page of Wands upright. The Page of Wands upright represents an individual who is possibly bringing you a message. Honestly, this is a very phallic symbol right here. This could be somebody who is wanting to hang out with you for certain reasons. The fire sign, the wands represent fire sign energy. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. If this is somebody who's not trying to get with you or get at you, this could be somebody who is either delivering a message or being a messenger, dealing with some sort of courageous message, a message surrounding a message of courage. You may need to be courageous. And this right here looks like a flame dancing up here. It could be that your intuition is on fire. He's in the upright, so it's not a subjective perspective. This person is being objective and neutral at least. It's not a negative situation per se. If it's an individual, if it's a message, it's just a straightforward, matter-of-fact message. I see it being more snail mail or like landline telephone communication. I don't see this being email. If it was technological-based communication or messaging, then it would be a knight for me. The Page of Wands also deals with a certain age group. That's about 16 to 17 to 26 to 27. That's how I see it. And we're stretching it on that 26 to 27 age. If they're not in that age bracket, it could be someone acting that age. Immature, not thinking, not planning. The final card that you got is the Four of Wands upright. This is the only numerical card that you got because the Fool is listed as a 0 card. So the 4 represents the Cancer-ruled home or the Cancer-ruled house of home and family. It is also speaking to your roots and your foundations. So let's break that down. Home is where you live or where you consider home to be. Family is your parents, mother, father, or people you consider to be parents. It is your spouse. It is your children. It is your fur babies. It is your roommates. It could also be home-based business if that is the way that you're making your money. That would be cool. Normally, I don't add home-based business in there, but that must mean something to somebody, especially with this card. That may be why I said that, because this is a happy home. This is the celebration. This is the invitations go out, and we need the RSVPs so we can have we can have a place for each person. That's what I think of when I see this card. This is the Four of Wands. Once again, fire sign energy. There's a lot of fire sign energy going on in here. That's actually the only energy that's going on in here outside of the Fool. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, sorry to go back, but I want to be as thorough as possible. Uranus is in Aries right now. And this card represents the planet Uranus. You may be dealing with an Aries. You may be dealing with an Aries. Because, I mean, okay, even Aries are born in the 4th month. Yeah. You might be dealing with an Aries. That's just Erica's guess. I'm an Aries. Jeremy, if this is for you, sorry, babe. I don't know what's going on. Jeremy watches my videos, so yeah. Sometimes I like to surprise him with a shout out. I'm sure he's laughing his butt off right now. But this is a happy home celebration thing. I actually know exactly what this is. I'm not going to tell y'all, but I'll text it to him if he had. Well, you know what? I'm going to see if he watches this video, and I'm going to let y'all know if he does or not. But, y'all. I know exactly what this is for me and him, and it's nothing bad. It's something we've already talked about, and I was like, oh, Jupiter's moving into Libra, blah, 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 and he's a Libra rising, blah, 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 like y'all care. But yeah, this is possibly a message from somebody that is definitely got some fire sign energy. The Queen of Wands is in reverse, so you may be getting a message from a different fire sign, and it makes the Queen of Wands go in reverse. I have an Aries sun. I can't help but laugh, y'all. I'm sorry. I asked for the general messages, but I definitely see how this is kind of playing out for the Virgo moon in my world. And I've got Virgo energy, not just in my fiance. My youngest son is a 0-degree Virgo sun, and he and I share the same rising sign and the same rising degree. We're 22 degrees Scorpio rising, so that's a very, very, very special bond that I just don't even have the words for. And anyways, not that y'all really give a rip. But yeah, the tarot total for this spread was 4. I've talked about home and family enough. I think that we're going to transition over to the Healing and Meditation Oracle card that I pulled for you, and that was routine. And isn't it about time that we get into a routine? I mean, summer's coming to an end. School just started back up. Things are starting to get back into that routine. We have the Sunday football, the, Friday night football, Saturday college football, Sunday NFL football, Monday night football. We got a couple nights to rest, Thursday night football. And I say football because I live in the States, and it seems like that they're just trying to make every day of the week football. But yeah, this is us getting back into routine, and my lovely, sweethearted, analytical, critical Virgos. I love you so. I really do. The world couldn't function without y'all. But you love routine, and you love your routine. So if you have possibly gotten off routine, now's a good time to re-implement it. If you're thinking about reforming or revising a routine, now's a good time for that as well. This card's making that very evident. Eclipses give us opportunities for change, so embrace it. The routine card reads, a good morning routine reduces stress and encourages clear, sharp thinking throughout the day. A regular evening meditation will allow you to relax and clear your mind after working hours. Each day is a new beginning, and focusing on the calm at the start and end of the day will give you peace of mind and improve the quality of your sleep. Regular meditation should be an essential part of your day. Consider the following. I am focused and empowered. My breath is energizing my body and exhaling any tension I feel. I am in the moment and I can clear my mind of all thoughts. The outside world can wait now. I can't help but giggle a little bit because I know y'all, the outside world can wait now. We can all try, right? Okay. I pulled two Butterfly Oracle card deck. Mercury, come on. I pulled two Butterfly Oracle cards for you from the Dorian Virtue deck. The first is get some rest. It could be that you're not feeling well. You did just have a prenumbral lunar eclipse in your 6th house dealing with work and health. It may not be you that is sick. It may be a partner that's sick. It may be your spouse. It may be a family member that's sick. But being a caretaker requires you to make sure that you're getting your rest. Being a caretaker requires that you are... How do I put this? The well analogy. I know that y'all have heard me in different videos speak about the well. You are a well, and people will only go to wells that are running, wells that have water in them. If you are a stagnant well, if you are a dry well, people aren't going to come to you. People can't receive anything from you. You don't have anything to give to those people because you're in lack yourself. You have to make sure that your well is full. You have to make sure that your well is not stagnant. You have to employ your self-care measures. And understand, one of the things that took me forever to understand in my early life, and I'm 36, I say early life because I feel like I've lived 36 years and 36 lives. When I was younger, I felt like my worth was determined on how much people needed me. And in the beginning, it comes from a good place, it really does, but it turns very quickly into codependency. And then those people need you because they can't function without you. And now you aren't doing what you need to do because you're running to help fix those people for your emotional satisfaction. That's not me being preachy or judgy. That's me just trying to tell you, as somebody who has lived in those shoes and walked that path, that's not the healthiest way to approach it. I come from a place of love, non-judgment, just trying to help. The next card you got is take the next step now. Easier said than done, right? Take the next step now. This is, I'm smiling because it's eclipse season, and it's definitely indicating that there are doors that are opening and there are doors that are probably slamming in your face. It may even hit your nose. It may sting a little bit. It may hurt. But those doors are being shut for a reason. Don't try to kick them open. It's not a good thing. I think that this is very much speaking to the work and career sector. I think this is also speaking to your partnerships in work and health. I believe that you already know what needs to happen. It may not be fully realized, but it's bubbling to the surface. Allow for quiet time and meditation, and that helps to hasten the process. Don't be afraid to take the next step now as well. Embrace the eagerness of the Queen of Wands in the upright. The Sacred Rebels Oracle card that I pulled for you, this is one of my favorites when it comes to artwork. And I'm sorry, I keep bumping the mic. I can't help it. Well, I need to stop, but I'm sorry. It's one of my favorite cards artwork-wise of this deck because I just love the expression on this little girl's face. It's called Inspiration. She is beaming. Her hair looks like a cornucopia, which is gorgeous because we're moving into the harvest season. We aren't there yet, but we're moving towards it. The sun, we just got finished having the solar eclipse in your sign, Virgo. This could have been a beam of inspiration that came to you throughout this eclipse season, because eclipse season is really when the veils are the thinnest. The ancients believed that that's when we were able to see into other dimensions easier or get messages from other dimensions easier, from other worlds, not necessarily dimensions, but you get what I'm saying. It's that vibe. Inspiration. Inspiration comes in all forms. Don't be afraid to have conversations with people, because I think that that is some of the most stimulating activity that a human being can engage in, is conversation with another person. It gives you the opportunity to actually interact. And conversation, face-to-face conversation, not text. Have an actual, make a moment with someone where you share a part of yourself and they share a part of themselves. And that could be the sharing of ideas. That could be the sharing of DNA. I'm not getting into that. But yeah, I think that communication is what, I believe that communication is the initiation point of inspiration. That's me personally. You're not going to be able to be inspired by anything if you aren't absorbing some form of communication. Your view will never grow. Your view will never expand. That's just how I see it. This is the third card of the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, and the 3 speaks to the Gemini-ruled house of siblings, cousins, neighbors, short distance trips and journeys, communication. And I just got finished saying over and over and over again, communication. Pardon me. Oh, I need a drink. I'm doing the best I can for y'all. Communication. You don't necessarily have to share your points of inspiration through communication. What I'm saying is communication can plant those seeds of inspiration. Don't be afraid to have those points of communication so you can have these seeds that will yield for you later on. The Journey of Love card that was pulled for you is Heaven. Does the pinnacle of that mountain just seem to be calling you? It does to me. I feel like I would definitely enjoy being on top of a mountaintop right now. Just absorbing nature. Like a sponge, just absorbing it. It would feel like heaven on earth to me. And that, when I say the apex of this mountain, let me, I don't believe in bending pages of books. I'm a nerd. I said apex of the mountain, but it looks like a mountain. But when you get to looking at it closer, extreme close-up alert, this looks like souls being called to the light. And this isn't a dark card. This is just different ways that you interpret it. For me, it looks like a mountaintop. And this is the sun rays. But I also see the souls. I also see those spirits. Heaven is the 70th card of this oracle deck. There are 70 cards in the deck. So this could be, we are dealing with a full moon, prenumbral lunar eclipse. This is dealing with endings. This is the very ending of this card deck. Take the next step now. Maybe taking the next step now would lead to heaven. Heaven on earth. You could be being inspired by loved ones in heaven, getting communication from loved ones in heaven as well. If that's the case, that's so beautiful. I hope that you have means and a way to receive that message and to somehow time capsule it for yourself. Let me read you what the book says about heaven. You are meant to live in heaven, not now. Mercury, come on. Let me start over. You are meant to live in heaven now, not later. Sometime after you die. What use is this life and body if not to live heaven now? Look for the mad divine genius in it all, especially the puzzling parts of your life that make you scratch your head or tear at your hair or scrunch up your face and scream with frustration. There are those places in which the divine is saying, here heaven is hiding. Let's unveil it together. Let me show you. Let me unveil your own mad divine genius right here. Look for heaven, even in hiding. It will not withhold itself from you for long, beloved. It wants to be known by you. This oracle brings you a message. The enlightener is calling to you more, to you more, to you more. More divinity, more love, more acceptance, more of an embrace of life itself. There is no limit in what is being offered to you from the divine lover, calling to you, the beloved. Rejoice and know that the dance of love between you and the divine is removing veils of illusion one at a time, until you behold each other naked and true, finally to discover you are each other. You are love. The poem reads, the sky ablaze with morning light, on silver wings of birds in flight, in gratitude a tear released, a knowingness embraced at peace. She speaks to those that gaze below, ancestral wings which call my soul, to open hearts and soar above. In all the winds await this love. Wow. I just love my new oracle deck. Thank you, Jeremy. Heaven's calling you. Heaven on earth. Make it yours. Virgo, I hope that this reading was empowering and enlightening and uplifting to you. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm so appreciative if you already have. Thank you so much for sticking around and listening to me talk about the stars for a little while. I'll be around at the end of the month to pull more cards for you for the new moon in Libra. But until then, my dear Virgo friends, happy birthday. Enjoy it while you still can. Take care of yourself. Employ your self-care measures. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. We're all going through this in different areas of our lives. I'll see you at the new moon. Take care of yourself, Virgo. Namaste, y'all.